So okay, and we're live. Okay, so how's it going, everybody? This is Michael here. You're watching Dad versus CPS. Oh, let me turn on my video thing so I can see me. There we go. Okay, so how's it going, everybody? You're watching Dad versus CPS. Gotta do the introduction again. This is Michael here. Okay, so today I have a mother from Texas. Where are you from, Erica? You're from San Antonio, right?
Where am I from? I'm
Yeah.
actually from San Antonio, Texas. I'm here because I'm here to do a voice for my 7-year-old who hold on, it says, can you hear me? Because it says on my end, the internet connection.
I can hear you fine.
Okay. So my case actually with CPS was out in Wilson County.
Atacosta County, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes, Atacosta County, Wilson area. Which is like 45-minute drive from San Antonio.
Okay. Where's the county seat over there? Where exactly is that courthouse that you went to? What city is it in?
Floresville.
Floresville. Okay.
Floresville, Texas.
Okay.
So Floresville is about 45-minute drive from San Antonio. So it's not that far. Unfortunately, I know with CPS, they have regions all over the state of Texas, and their county is Regional 8. Floresville is Regional 8.
Okay.
And then I'm a mom to another child, and I have him, obviously, which is very interesting on how I can have one and not both, right? My youngest is 5, and my oldest is 7. My 5-year-old was born into this CPS case on my oldest. That's the unique part of it all. So they allowed me to keep one, which happened in Kerrville, Texas. That's like maybe an hour drive. That's still Regional 8. So all Regional 8 pretty much does not like me right now. But it's okay because these are my kids and I don't like them. So back in 2016, so originally the case started in 2015. They did not remove him until January of 2016. They came knocking on my door, and they also came knocking on my oldest son's father's door because we live together. We're not married. I'm still not married as of today.
And when you say they came knocking on the door, you mean CPS, or was it the cops too?
It was just CPS, no cops, no nothing.
Okay.
And at that time, I answered the door. And the reason why I answered the door is because, unfortunately, I was in a domestic violence relationship at the time with my oldest son's father. He's not in the picture. He's not going to be involved. Like if I was to get him back, it's just me. He did not want me speaking to them. He did not want me speaking up about the domestic violence. He did not want me doing nothing. But unfortunately, I had to say something only because of the fact that I felt like it was the right thing to do at the time because my son was a baby. He couldn't be able to speak up for himself. And I grew up in the system. And so that's another reason why I felt like it was the right decision to do at the time, to speak up, because like I know that there's some moms and some parents that when domestic violence is involved, they're so scared to speak up, because they'll lose their kids. And that's basically what happened to mine. I spoke up because had I not spoken up, I feel like maybe the domestic violence would have continued to the point where he would have gotten older and he would have recognized that. And I was not going to be okay with that because I actually have a friend that was in the foster care system, and he told me privately in a message, not for everybody to know, but that's why I can't say his name because he's actually on my Facebook. And he told me at 15 years old that his parents really did not want him anymore. They couldn't take care of him anymore, but also domestic violence happened at 15. And so I feel like for out at 15 years old to recognize something like that, that could be more traumatizing to them because they could see it. At the time that they took my son from me, he was itty bitty. He was like 18 months when they took him. So I spent 18 months of my son's life. During that time that domestic violence was going on, we did not neglect him at all. He had food, he had clothes, he had a roof over his head. He was up to date on all his doctor's appointments and everything. And they want to say that I neglected him. And I don't understand how when he was still taken care of, even though there was abuse in the home. So yeah, I spoke up and I ended up losing my kid. Throughout the case, I remember after they took my son from me, I left Floresville, in fact. And the reason why I left Floresville is because I told his dad, I told him prior, I said, look, I grew up in the system. If CPS was to come and take my baby from me, I'm gone. And I stayed true to my word. I left the relationship. Before CPS took him, I was doing family services. So I already had some family services stuff under my belt. So when they took him, we went to court the first day. The first time we had court. This was I've never been into family court like this. So I really didn't know what to say or how to present that I'm not guilty or whatever. But I didn't really do much talking, but what happened was his dad obviously went to jail after court in front of everybody. His dad went to jail because he was also on drugs, and I knew he was on drugs, but there was never a time where I allowed drugs in the home. If he was to go do drugs, he left the home, and I stayed with the baby. So because I had knowledge, and I said, I don't feel comfortable about leaving my son like that because that's neglectful, especially if you're aware of it too. And so I had knowledge of it, and so I never left my son with him. And I also told him if you ever bring in he brought drugs into the home, I would snitch him out. That's what I told him. I would snitch him out because I don't have a record with drug related, and he does. And I would have told the cops, hey, I'm willing to take a drug test versus him probably not wanting to. So that's another reason why I say I'd snitch him out because I'm having a record. But he went to jail after that court proceeding. After that court proceeding, I had the opportunity to go to the area where we shared our stuff, and I packed up mine and my son's stuff in our car that we had. And I split basically. I took the car, I took my stuff, I took my son's stuff, let his stuff there. And then also during the case, what happened is I pressed criminal charges on him right here in Bexar County, Texas. And so he wasn't going to get out from Floresville because they were going to transfer him to Bexar County because of the fact. So he didn't even get out until like August, September of 2016, when all I had to do was therapy sessions. That's all I had to do.
And all this is happening
And
after your kids were taken away, right?
do what?
All of this that you're explaining, this is all happening after your son was taken away, or is it before?
Sorry, you're cutting out, Michael. What did you say?
That are you saying that all this that you're explaining right now, right? Is this happening before your son was removed, or is it happening
This
after?
happened after he was after they already had him. So all these events started happening after they removed him.
Okay, so your son's in foster care at
I
this
was
point.
still the one that was still complying.
Okay.
Yes, they had him in. Actually, what happened was they removed him. They placed him in foster care, and then they gave me the option to choose who I wanted to have my son.
Hey, Erica,
And
let me ask you a question. Okay, the day that they came over to remove your son, okay, did they come with police officers or was it just the CPS caseworkers?
you cut out again?
The day that they removed your son,
The
was
day
it
that they
this?
came,
Yeah, who was it? Was it the police
uh-huh.
officers also, or was it the CPS agents also?
Well, let me get to the point, okay? So,
Okay.
before I had court, that first court hearing, the CPS worker wanted me to meet her in at the office, and I was already on my way to the office. She calls my phone, right? Because at one point, his dad took my son from me all the way to Dallas, Texas. CPS did not come and pick up my son from Bear County. They traveled. They told me on the phone, we're going to Dallas to pick him up. Because at first, they were going to give his dad the opportunity to bring him down here. But no, instead, they went up there in traffic. They took him from Dallas, from away from him. So I didn't
So,
even get to say goodbye.
okay, so they didn't
I
even
didn't even
take.
get to hug my baby. Huh?
So he wasn't taken away from you. He was taken away from the dad. Am I understanding that
They took
correctly?
him away from the dad.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was trying to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
they took him away from the dad, but they never gave him back to me at that moment.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
they took him from him because do what?
I'm sorry.
You're kind of cutting out. What was this? What were you saying?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they took him from Dallas, and I kind of was like, y'all called him, and that's what they were telling me, that they were going to give him the option to come down here and bring the child down here. But no, they went to Dallas and took him up there. And the reason why he went to Dallas is because there was an incident in the car between me and him and my son, and I had to get out of the car. And this is what CPS never told the judge or anything. But then again, CPS wasn't even in the car, or they weren't even around. So how can they be a first-hand witness? They're not. It was just me, the child, and my son. I had to get out of the car because another reason why I left the domestic violence relationship, because it was he was giving me anxiety and panic attacks because I would have bruises and stuff like that. And he was physically abusive, but he was also trying to mentally abuse me in the process at the same time. And so like I started, that's why I had to get out of the car. And so when I got out of the car, I didn't go that far, but from the car, but he got into the driver's seat and took off.
He took off with your son.
And the reason why he took off with his son is because the day he was born, he was on the birth certificate at that time. And the reason why he took him away from me is because I took his son away from him like two or three times prior to that.
It was an
And so
issue. I get it.
So he wanted to get right back at me. It was like he's gonna get revenge from me. So after CPS went up there, That's when basically we had court, and from the time we had court, he was in jail for most of it. And when he got out, he was still refusing. He didn't want to do drug tests, and he did not want to do drug tests. And I even knew that he refused, because I would even ask the people, has he came up there and even did his drug test? And they would tell me, no, he has not.
Particularly, what was it that the allegations were on your baby daddy that led to the removal? Because obviously they went looking for him, right? They were, I mean,
So
they were
the
looking for,
emergency removal, okay, get this. On the emergency removal, it does not mention my name. It only mentions his. And they're trying to say that he was being
what
they were
what
saying that
pos-
he was on drugs, and that
okay,
he was the one that was at home with the child,
okay,
and I was out doing something else.
okay. Did they ever serve you with the paperwork for the removal?
Yes,
Like
they
the
did.
they did. How long did it was it after until they actually, like, from the time they removed your son from his father, from the time they served you the actual papers, what they're saying they filed in court? How long was that? Do you remember?
It was basically, they served me not that long. They served me, and then they went and got my son.
Oh, okay, okay. So they gave you a notice, basically. What were the name of those documents? I'm curious to know. Do you remember the name of those documents? Was it like an affidavit in support of exigent removal?
It was just a emergency removal of a child.
Yeah, like
I don't think it doesn't say motion on
no.
it.
They have
It
several
was just
ways
like
of.
an emergency removal.
Okay. Wow. How long after did it take you from your son being removed from his father? How long did it take for you to actually go to court? Do you remember?
I'll Well, they gave me the documentation, and what it is they gave me the documentation. Hold on. Now that I think about it, I think they removed him first, and then they gave me the documentation, because what they we were supposed to meet beforehand, but that's when they called me and picked up the phone and said, "Well, no, we're going to Dallas." So
And
they
you
gave
were
me
in
the documentation after.
but you were in San Antonio.
Yeah, I was in San Antonio. I'm pretty sure they gave him the documentation first of the emergency removal on his end, and then they served me
Do you still have
with
those
that paper
papers?
afterward.
Do you still have those papers? Because if
Oh
you
yeah,
if
I do. I have everything from
it'll show on the, like say it was a petition that they filed, right? Because that's usually what they got to file. If it's not an emergency, they'll file a petition, right? Um, but if it's an emergency, usually
hold on
what
just a
they.
second. What about mom? Can you say hi? Come on,
Hi.
come here.
So this is
So
this is
this
your
is
other
my
son.
5-year-old that I'm talking. Yes, his name is Alexander. He is 5. Um, that's another reason why I'm coming on this channel. Like, I don't have no gag order. If I had a gag order, I would not be able to talk about this. But I think she's gonna try to get one, because this woman doesn't want me speaking out. The woman that has my son, she does not like me speaking out.
This is awesome for you to show your
But there's no
son.
gag order for me not to.
Erica,
Huh?
this is something awesome that I want to just tell everybody, right? Because this is just freaking awesome. Everybody, please understand that
Okay,
Erica.
let me finish the story.
Hold on,
Okay,
Erica. Hold on, Erica. Hold on. Everybody, please
okay.
understand that Erica has her second son with her, living with her in her possession, right? But they're giving her some difficult time giving up her first son when it's a clear fact that she can have her other son. All right, but just wanted to point that out. Okay, go ahead, Erica.
But I'm not gonna give up, and I'm not gonna let them bully me anymore. I'm actually, guess what? I'm actually currently a student at San Antonio College going for paralegal. That prevents me actually kind of going to court. But if they really want to continue to mess with me, I'm learning how to file certain documents, And trust me, I will file certain documents against them to leave me alone, basically. But yeah, they are giving me a hard time with my oldest, but it's okay. It's not going to stop me. I actually, like I said, I grew up in foster care from the time that I was 3 to like, I was there till I was like 18. But little does CPS know, it's weird too, because like after you age out of the system, they pay your way through college. Okay. That's one of the benefits you get. They also reimburse you. Like say you get an apartment and they reimburse you, they help you with your rent for a certain amount of time. They basically, if I was to go buy like groceries and stuff, they reimburse you for it. When with me going to school right now, they're actually paying my school right now. That's the hilarious part. They're paying my school. In order for somebody to continue to go to school after, I'm 32 right now. So the way that it works, in order for them to pay for my school, because you can get school for life. So there's no time limit. I can take my time on this, and but I'm gonna try to do it as much as I can. So today, unfortunately, I did take some time off to do this video because I want it to be out there for the world.
Gotcha.
And then so so back to what I was saying about the college. In order for you to receive these benefits, those who are in foster care, I don't know what it is or what it's like when you have a voluntary placement with a family member, but I do know in foster care, when you don't have family members that will take you in, they have a organization called Baptist Child Family Services. That's where you can do PALS classes. And as long as you complete your PALS classes, you get all these extra benefits.
Tau
PALS
classes?
classes, yes. PALS
Like
classes involved
how do you spell that?
PALS, like I'm your
Tals.
pal.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is that? I don't ever remember ever being.
PAL classes are classes that a youth can take. They teach you how to manage a bank account. They teach you life. It's like a life skills class for when you get older.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was confused. These are not for parents. These are for foster children, right?
This is for foster children.
Okay.
I actually, the crazy thing now that we're going to talk about parents, okay? So at 18, I actually found my dad. It's a very interesting story in itself in that way too, and I would like to share. I don't mind sharing because my life is like a book, and I will be the open book as much as I can. But once I turned 18, I graduated from high school in Bernie, Texas, Bernie High School. Now they have another high school there, but it used to be like small, but not growing. It's getting bigger and bigger there. A lot of people are moving there. So I graduated in 2007. And before I started college, I was working on, obviously, this is a strange conversation, but I was working on my teeth. I had like an overbite or something wrong with my teeth. I had something wrong with my teeth to where I had to get braces. But before I could actually get those on, I had to get my all my 4 wisdom teeth pulled. Plus, I had to get 2 teeth here because when I was little, I actually when I was little, I lost my 2 front teeth, and when I was in foster care, people would make fun of them because of the fact that they look like 2 big rabbit teeth coming right at it. And so that's another reason. I think that's probably what messed up my teeth. I don't know exactly what causes overbites or underbites because I'm not a dentist, but I had to get like these teeth right here, you see, the ones right next to it is what I had to get done. So basically I had 6 teeth pulled out, and the place that I went to was right here in San Antonio. While I was there, they pulled up some information because apparently, okay, now that I'm thinking about it, at around 17 or 18 years old, I'm thinking I'm foster care. My rights got terminated by my dad and my mom. Well, I found out my mom actually voluntarily signed her rights away. So she voluntarily signed her rights away. I found out, okay, so when you're also a foster care, you get foster care Medicaid. Okay. So I had foster Medicaid at the time. But somehow my dad's insurance picked up. Okay. Keep in mind, my dad, this is my biological father we're talking about, the biological father that his rights got terminated. His insurance picked up on when I was trying to get dental work done. The medical personnel gave me that information, and it had the name of his insurance, had the date I guess he signed up for the insurance, his social, his phone number, his address, his name. Like, this was like my biological father who I haven't seen for like 15 years. All this popped up.
Oh, wow.
And I found him. I found him
That's
and I met
incredible.
with him.
Wow.
And
You're 18?
I was 18. I found him. I learned that unfortunately, I don't know what led him to drinking, but he is an alcoholic. He is actually slowed down a lot. It's just we bump heads. We're like, put two stubbornness people together, that's what you're gonna get. Stubborn. We're both we both have stubborn heads. So we kind of like
Erica,
kind of mesh together in not a healthy way.
let me try to fill in something maybe you're not aware of, because I know you just said right now that you just found out your mother relinquished her rights. Okay, but I'm not trying to defend her. Okay, but what I'm trying to tell you is, okay, I've talked with many parents, right, who are threatened by CPS, and they're told that if they don't give up their rights to this child or to these children that are in foster care right now, that if they don't do that, and if they try to fight them in court and they lose, they're going to have their parental rights severed. Okay. And when that happens, if you have any other kid with any other person, okay, the moment that kid is born and you're there at the hospital, the child will be removed from your care immediately. Okay. So you will not get a second chance on having a second life with new kids.
Okay, I remember they remembered so I remember during my CPS case, I keep in mind, guys, I was like 7-8 months pregnant when I had mediation. And what it is strange too, because I walk in there, right? I'm the first one to walk in there. And they have my attorney come out into the waiting room here in Floresville, because it's a big office. They have a lot of chairs, a lot of space. She comes out here and they're like, they're not going towards reunification anymore. And keep in mind, I'm a pregnant woman here. You tell a pregnant woman, her emotions gonna start coming out. So I started crying because I was pregnant. And then the lady goes back into in the office where they're at. And then his dad comes in here. His dad comes in here and he already knows what's up. He already knows. So they put us in one room. They violated a right. They did not want me recording mediation. I was actually wanting to record this mediation, but they violated that. And so it did not happen because they were like, we're not going to have this meeting if you're going to record. So then they separated us. And I kept asking, why are y'all doing this? Blah, blah, blah. They didn't want to give me an answer. They were not willing to meet Nate, nothing. So, and then that's when they said stuff. If you sign, we will not mess with you and your other kids. And I told myself, I'm not signing at this time. I told them, I don't need to make the decision today. And I walked out. The decision doesn't have to happen today. The decision can happen whenever I choose it to happen, but it didn't happen. But keep in mind, during the case, they threatened me. Before mediation, they threatened me to take both of my children. And keep in mind, yes, I do have 2 children. Are they by the same dad? No, they're not. They're separate. They're different dads. But they still threatened me. So I was with CPS during my CPS case. I was under a lot of stress. I'm surprised that my youngest came out fine. And the reason why I always say I was under stress is because I got sued. I got sued by my youngest son's father during the CPS case. Okay, keep in mind, CPS. Okay, so CPS in Kerrville. I had the baby. They told me we're not taking the baby
The new baby.
because you left that relationship with my oldest son's father, and they're like, oh, you still have your rights, so we're not going to take Alex from you. So, but they did have me. Guess what? They had me sign a safety plan. But it's okay. I signed it, and the reason why they had me sign it is for mental health purposes. I only signed it because I was like, you know what, Kerrville and CPS, someone finally is saying, you know what, she can keep her baby. So I did not want to fight that. So I signed. But then in CPS in Kerrville, they encouraged me to do another parenting class. They also helped me with daycare. Keep in mind, people, that the people that want your kid, sometimes CPS will pay for their daycare. And I'm like, that's odd. Why should they pay for their daycare? They should prove to the courts that they don't need services from CPS. But I found out in my case that my brother and them, they got childcare at one point. And then they tried, and then in this case, they used the fact that they used in my case that I got daycare, I got help to take care of Alex with my CPS case. Keep in mind that I was not receiving no child support, no nothing. So they did help me with childcare because I started working. It took some time because I had to wait to get off the safety plan. And on this safety plan, it was the most easiest safety plan there was. They did not want me to sleep with the baby. And they did not want me spending the night at people's houses with my baby. I was only able to stay in my stepmom's care. And keep in mind, my stepmom is married to my biological father. Okay. They allowed that to happen. Huh?
Are you saying the safety plan that you had signed, that there was rules and conditions that you were to be followed by? In this safety plan, is it the same like every other safety plan that I know, that you have to be in front of someone else, like you're being supervised by someone else, basically? That's basically what it is, right?
I guess not okay. So that's a good question, Michael, that you're asking, because when I signed the safety plan for Edward, it was just only me and his dad. There was no other people being supervised. We didn't have to. So they didn't have, like, for instance, if I had somebody in my home living there with me and his dad, and I had somebody in the home, I probably would have never lost my son at that time. But anyways, that's a good question. Thank you for asking, Michael. But yes, not all the time does somebody have to be supervised. I
So in this case, you just had to follow
by
the
my
rules.
stepmom because, yeah, I was supervised by my stepmom because they ran a background check, and she was the only one that was able to do it because of the fact that my dad lost his parental rights to me. So keep in mind, they let me have one child in the home of my stepmom and dad, okay? But they didn't want to allow it with my oldest. And I don't know if it's because the case is legal, but one of the case workers told me you could have both your kids in your dad's care because you're the stepmom. But I was like, I'm not 100% sure if that was true or not. I felt like one case worker would tell me one thing and the next one would tell me another thing. So right there, it was kind of like do if I don't, damn if I don't do. I was kind of like stressed out because
How
I was
long?
being told one thing and one thing a no, and then I was saying a yes. So but yeah, I was under a safety plan with Alex. Obviously, I followed it, so that's why I have Alex. So for people
How
who are
long was that
watching
safety
this,
plan?
oh, for Alex, they didn't even have me on that safety plan. They didn't have my okay, so it's probably I could probably say I was probably on it for a month.
Okay.
Um, I do know that they could extend the safety plan if they needed to, but once the caseworker says no, you don't need to, that's when they lift the safety plan and it's not there anymore. Um,
And you
but
said
yeah,
that
that's all they had me to do. It was the most easy.
I'm sorry, I was gonna ask you a question. You said that they had you on the safety plan due to mental health issues. How did that even came about?
Yes,
How do they even find out information like that? Like did they dig deep?
interesting that you asked. So,
Like
um,
that would have to be something that would have to have been admitted
so
by you,
that's an
right?
interesting class. Okay, so the reason why they had me do the reason why they were concerned about my mental health is keep in mind, guys, I had a psychological evaluation done by CPS.
Okay, in your first case. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. I can see what that I see where this is going. Yeah. So they're just bringing up old
Yeah.
shit,
So
right?
that was part of the services that I had to do for CPS in order to get my oldest back. Like I said, and I'm a mom that grew up in the system and I jumped through hoops. And I was willing to do that for my kids so that way I could say, hey, I want my son back. But I felt like they were bullying on me. And get this, my brother who had him was also in foster care. Should we tell him? Okay, so after now, okay, keep in mind, my oldest is 7, my youngest is 5. Um, I am actually currently in court, guys, over my oldest, who is 7. How did I do that? Well, by watching Michael's videos. He has a video out there that shows what to do at a post office, actually, and how you should pay for certified mail to serve them. Because after, for instance, I got sued. I'm getting sued for my oldest from another party that's not even related to me or related to my brother. My brother actually had to give up his voluntary placement, and he's already said why. I don't know if I should go into details on this channel because I'm dealing with the custody issue, but I just okay, I can tell you one reason why. One reason why is somebody's going to jail for putting a bruise on my oldest. CPS was never able to accuse me of physical abuse, okay, of the child. It actually got ruled out. I mean, I have those papers too. Like you asked me, Michael, if I had papers. I kept papers from the whole entire case.
How long did CPS actually put you through with your first son? How long in litigation were
Okay,
you
so
actually?
that's a good question. For my first son, okay, so they came into my life in 2015. They removed him in 2016.
Okay.
The case finally ended in 2017 in June. And guess what, guys? In June of 2017, I had a baby that
You
was
had
in my possession.
you had a what?
A baby in
Oh,
my
baby.
possession.
Okay.
My youngest was actually born with this. They take my son and my oldest in 2016. A year later, I have a baby who's born in 2017 on January 12th. So in January of 2017, I had a child in my possession. And now I'm back in court. There is a YouTube video of this court procedure that's currently going on. It made YouTube due to COVID, guys, because normally I don't think it would have been hidden if COVID did not hit. But this video has 658 viewers right now. The video is about what, eight hours long, something like that, Michael, right? 6, 8, you know?
Which is that one?
The YouTube video of me going to court.
Okay, that one, I actually have it right here. Hold on.
Yeah, and are you able to play it on this live, Michael?
Yeah, I can.
So this is getting interesting. I prefer y'all to listen, take notes, do what you need to, because this is some real stuff here. Michael did give me he did give me some advice because I had a hard time understanding a little bit of it, but it's okay. I know what he was trying to teach me now, but we'll proceed with this.
Okay. So real quick, I want to explain to everybody. Okay. So just so everybody can follow along what's going on. Okay. So eventually in Erica's case, right? So everybody understands this video I'm about to play. Okay. So Erica went through CPS court and all that stuff, right? And to fast forward to the end. Okay. Erica never lost her parental rights. She never did. Okay. What ended up happening was that her brother, okay, ended up getting managing conservatorship, and herself got awarded possessory conservatorship, and that's how they closed the case, right? And so now years later, right, for whatever reason why the brother can't handle her son now, right, he ended up getting someone else involved, right, a lady, right, who's not even blood relative, okay. And now she's stepping forward, right, and she's asking to be the next conservator managing the next managing conservator for the child, right? So that's what they're trying to do, right? Instead of giving, instead of passing conservatorship over to Erica as the next successor in conservator, right? Instead of doing that, they're trying to give it to someone else, right? Here's what the brother did. The brother actually hired, well, not him, right? But he actually has someone. I'm not sure what the relationship is between him and this other woman. Okay, but he actually gave guardianship over to another woman, right? And now that woman, okay, because she's been watching over her son, she's now suing Erica in court, right? Trying to ask for to convert the guardianship over to managing conservatorship, and they want to leave Erica as the possessory conservatorship. So that's what's going on here. So right now I'm going to play this video. Let me share my screen. Okay. So let's see, share screen. Okay. And I'm going to have to share the sound.
Want to get interesting, guys. Let me tell you this. And I also, on this video that Michael's showing, I'm going to have a lawyer on this case currently. I had to pay money to get it, but
so I kind of more stopped it right here in the beginning, right? But if you want to rewind it more, I can. But I thought this is what the most interesting part, where they start talking about that conservator stuff, right? So I'm gonna press play. Tell me if you can hear it, Erica. Okay.
Keep getting wind noise. That's
Are you able to hear it?
okay.
Your Honor, Mr. has been sworn.
Yes.
Okay.
He has.
Jeremy Thomas, can I call you Jeremy?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Pam Aldridge and I represent Miss Hastings. I think you were aware of that. Can you state your name for the record?
My name is Jeremy Thomas, Jeremy Glenn Thomas.
Okay, and how are you related to this case? How are you involved with this case?
I'm actually I have actually conservatorship for Edward Stantine right now. I'm also
This is Erica's brother.
the uncle of Edward Stantine.
Okay, and how are you related to Erica Thomas?
You're the what?
That is my sister.
Okay, I didn't, you said you were something, you're the what of Edward Stantine?
I'm the uncle of Edward Stantine, and I'm the sister of Erica Thomas.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay,
Go
may I
ahead.
share the screen, Your Honor?
Erica, real quick, is your brother a officer or security guard?
He is not a police officer. He's actually a security guard. From what I know, he works. I don't know where he currently works now, but I do know that I had a friend of mine. I'm not going to say it on live because I don't need him to try to, like, if he wants to watch this video, I don't need him trying to, like, go contact this person. But I had a friend of mine that started working for VIA as a security guard, and she told me where he worked. And at one point he did work for VIA. I don't know if it's because the VIA bus. VIA is basically a bus system right here in San Antonio for people that that don't have cars or do have cars and they want to save money and just try to use the bus system that we have. So he's not a police officer. He's a security guard.
Okay.
And normally security
but-
guards work a lot of hours.
Okay.
I want y'all to know that.
But it's fair enough to say you don't know where he's employed at right now.
Correct.
And it's also fair enough to say that you don't know if he's currently employed right now wearing his old uniform either.
Correct.
Right? I just wanted to point that
Correct.
out, right? So it just looks kind of, I mean, for him to just wear his uniform going to court, right? I mean, come on. And what is he trying to get at? You know what I'm saying? He's a security guard. It looks like he's a cop, right?
And
From
make
far
him
away.
look like he's bad.
Yeah. Okay, let me play the video.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Jeremy, I'm going to show you.
I'm sorry, real quick. Who's Franklin Thomas on top? It looks like he's related to y'all.
He is actually my older brother that was adopted and that was not in foster care.
Oh, okay. And then of course that's you at the bottom. Okay. And
Yes.
everybody, the lady to the right over here in the middle, that's going to be the attorney that who's
The
I
little,
want- the one on the left is
the little Indian.
Yeah.
I don't know what race she is. Indian lady.
the one on the the one on the lady. No, I'm sorry. The one on the
The
left.
one that's speaking. The one that's speaking. That's going to be speaking is the attorney.
Okay,
She
but
is
the one,
the attorney.
but the one on
she
the
is-
left is the lady that's suing you for conservatorship, right? Is that correct, or is it the lady on
The
top
lady.
on the right?
Okay, so you know where the attorney is, right? The one that's fixing to speak. It's the lady right above her.
Okay, so the one on top of the lady that's speaking right now, I can't say that name, Fiang Aldrich. Okay, that's the attorney.
Yeah.
Who's for? You see the lady on top of her, the Lakindra Hastings. Okay, that lady is suing Erica. Okay, she's just a guardian right now. Okay, the brother Jeremy Thomas. Okay, allowed Lakindra, right? I don't know how to say her name, right? Miss Hastings, right? Okay, to have conservatorship, to have guardianship over her son. Okay, and then she hired this attorney right below her. Okay,
And there's a reason why, because they're trying to use common law in this courtroom. But I don't know if I should say this. Well, I'm not going to say it because I need to keep some of the information private because it's continuing. It's a continuing case going on at this time.
Okay,
But
thank
I
you.
will share more maybe at another later date.
A document. Your Honor, did that show up, the final order in suit affecting the parent-child relationship?
Nope.
It did not show up?
No, what we're seeing is, it looks like a index. It says petitioner's exhibit 1, but the document itself did not show up. You go, that's better.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, Jeremy, what is this? Do you recognize this piece of paper or this document?
Yes, ma'am. That's the court documents from Wilson County.
Okay, and this was entered on June 20th or around that date of 2000?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And this is in regards to Erica. And who is Edward Bailey Stantine? Who is that?
That is Edward's dad. That is Junior's dad.
Okay, and this was a CPS case, correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
And when this case started, how old was Edward?
Edward wasn't. It wasn't even one yet.
Okay. And at the end of this case, the father's rights were terminated. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but Erica retained some of her rights. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and here on page 3, it shows that you were appointed as the sole managing conservator.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And also at 7.4, it says that you have the exclusive right to designate the primary residence of the child within the state of Texas.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay, and you're here today to ask the judge to allow Edward to live with Wendy. Is that
Yes,
what-
ma'am. That's correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we're going to go down here to page 4. Here's the mother's right.
Notice how she said Wendy, right? And not Miss Hastings, right? That's not even her first name, the lady.
She was appointed possessory conservator. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So her rights were not terminated.
Correct.
All right. And also I see on page 7 down here, there are some injunctions that she is not allowed to, for certain people to be around Edward and also not to be 100 feet of you. Why was that stay away put in place at that time? Do you know?
Because there was a Facebook post. We still have the Facebook post. There was posts where Erica stated on Facebook that she would come into the house and she would kidnap her child out of our care. So that was one of the reasons why that was also placed
Hey,
in
Michael,
place
can
in
you
order.
pause
And
that
as
for a
also,
second? I want viewers to know that is not true what I said back in the day when CPS removed my child. I posted on Facebook that in the event that they did not have no court orders, this key, no court orders, that I could go to the home and take my baby. They flipped it to make it look like I was gonna go take my baby.
They mix your words. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you didn't literally post if I go on your Facebook right now, I'm not gonna find a post that says I'm gonna kidnap my son.
No. And
Right.
they would have, and they would have to have, yes, just because you have Facebook postings, that's not enough to,
I honestly
There's
don't
more-
believe
there
that you
needs
can
to be more
kidnap
than
your own
just
kid.
that. Okay, you can continue.
also for the safety of Edward Stanton Jr.
Okay. And why did they felt the need to protect Edward Jr.?
Because Erica's Edward Stanton Sr. was actually he's actually a convicted criminal, and he has histories of breaking into people's houses and stuff. And then also at the time, Erica was still talking to Senior at the time of the CPS cases was going on, and so we felt that it was for our safety and for Junior's safety that we placed with restraining orders.
Okay. Has she abided by this
Okay,
100
and then
feet
How's that?
stay?
Press
He
pause?
also forgot to mention that his dad was on drugs. I know of that incident. So my brother forgot. He left that out. I don't know why he left it out. I don't know if he left it out on purpose or I know probably for him it was a lot to take in, but the crazy part is he does not have a lawyer on this case anymore. So that's going to be very interesting on when my lawyer starts questioning him. So you can go on.
As far as I know, yeah. But other than the incident they just had in San Marcos, where she made a law for pretty much just lied and stated that with the law enforcement in San Marcos.
Okay. Are there any other concerns right
Can
now?
you pause
in
that,
regards
Michael?
to- I'm gonna call-
So when somebody makes a police report, what he's talking about that is I did not lie. He would have to literally prove that I lied to the officer. He was not there when I spoke to the officer. So that's going to be very hard to prove that I lied. What happened was I called law enforcement because the woman that is suing me, she tried to sue me for slander. She sent me a letter that has an address in Bexar County. And so I had a Bexar County address for her, but I also had to have a Hayes County address for her. So I asked, I made like an incident report regarding this incident. And I even asked the cops, how do I go about this the proper way so I don't get in trouble for like harassment or anything like that? He told me, today, since you're calling for an incident report, you cannot do a welfare check today in Bexar County, but you can call Hayes County and ask them to do a welfare check because it's a different county. So I just want viewers to know that as well, for anybody in Texas that's going to watch this video. But yeah, Michael, you can continue to proceed.
Call him Junior. Is that all right, since we have an Edward?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so have there been any other concerns with her threatening people or threatening Junior?
Yeah, she still posts stuff on Facebook. There's just recently I seen that she had posted something on there about a couple of days ago. So you know, and I do feel like there's safety concerns for Junior if he does go back. One of them is actually really, and like I said, I'm doing this for the best interest of Junior, and one of the reasons why I really want him to go back with Wendy is because he's so emotionally attached to Wendy. You know, there's he is just, it would be an emotional breakdown if he didn't stay with Wendy.
Okay, I'll ask you that a little bit.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. I just want to get through this order to show the judge what it actually says. I'm going to go down to the attachment down here.
And guys, so people can just follow along. Once again, this document right here that's being presented is the actual final judgment, the order that was done in Erica's case the last time she was in court. And all it says is that the brother has managing conservatorship. Erica's the possessory. Erica can't come within 100 feet of whoever it is they're saying that she can't come within 100 feet of. And it's just saying that the brother has the right to mandate where the child is going to live. That's all it's saying. And so this is how the attorney is going to try to use that for the court. So let me play the video.
In regards to her visitations. And this here says she gets
And
the first
on there, you see, you're not going to see my
month.
signature on that order. So obviously, okay, can you pause it, Michael? Obviously, like I said, guys, I have custody of my youngest. It's an agreement between me and his dad. So on my custody agreement with my youngest, we have my dad, me, we have his dad, and we have our lawyer's signature. So that's how a real court order is supposed to look like. Just advice.
Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
For 4 hours,
Correct.
but it's supposed to be supervised at kid share.
Correct.
Okay. And are you aware of her making all these visits since 2017?
No, she has not made all of them visits since 2017. Right after the case had happened, there was an 18-month period. Me and Wendy, we had hired an attorney. The attorney, I don't know what happened with the case. She never looked into it. But when we first closed the case out, there was an 18-month period where Erica.
So when he's mentioning about an attorney trying to take this case on again, I think the attorney didn't want to take the case because it's irrelevant now. I think that's what it is. But my thought is, my brother had an attorney. Didn't he get custody? So he had an attorney. What happened to that attorney? I'm just saying, he somehow, some way, he got his PMC, permanent managing conservatorship. So somehow he got that with an attorney. because you have to file. Yes, I do know that you can file an intervention. I think he might have even filed an intervention to stop CPS from doing something, but I don't think he did. The reason why I don't think he did is because CPS also asked me at one point where CPS asked me, where do I want my child to be? And I said family because I wanted him out of foster care. The reason why I wanted out of foster care, and Michael knows this, but I can't really go into his situation, but he knows how the system is, and so do I. I lived in it for 15 years, from the time I was 3 to 15. And when you're in the system, the children that are in the system, they have no voice. That's why they run away. They try to reach out to their biological parents to let them know what's going on. I've had friends that have actually run away and CPS couldn't access them actually. Yeah, but I just think it's very strange on how they want to say that they tried to hire a lawyer and the lawyer didn't do anything with it, because they had one. I think they had one. I also get this, after everything is done with what CPS told me, what CPS did to me, Bear County has actually told me everything. There is a thing called a conservatorship worker that works for CPS. They're like the last people on the case, I guess, that helps get people, other like foster families and stuff like that, to get custody of children. So that there was a conservatorship worker, and I have a picture of the conservatory worker. But yeah, I've also, another reason why this case is going on is because it'll explain to you what happened, but also I just want viewers to know that I filed a complaint with CPS once my brother notified me. He actually called me. He called me, and I even have text messages too, because at one point he tried to cover up this bruise, and it didn't make sense, because he called me and then he wants to argue with me in a text and saying it didn't happen. And it didn't make sense, because not just that, the CASA worker on the case that I had with, on this case, she was the first one that reached out to me and said, you're gonna want to talk to your brother. And I tried to get it out of the CASA worker what was going on. She didn't want to tell me, so I said, fine, here's my cell phone number, give it to my brother and have my brother call me. He called me, and that's when I found out about a bruise on my son. And I was like, you know what? That's not okay. That is unacceptable, due to the fact that it's unacceptable. This is a child we're talking about. That was child abuse. That's considered physical child abuse. I don't know the person who got arrested. In fact, my brother will sit here and try to tell the judge that I knew who the woman was, but the truth is CPS, they don't know, they don't realize, now that this is going on, they don't realize that CPS has told me everything about this case. And I had to file a complaint. And so I want viewers to know, when you file a complaint, you're filing a complaint with the Office of Consumer Relationship. What that does is that that alerts them, hey, I'm filing a complaint regarding an issue of a case. Okay. From there, the caseworker on the case will try to call you. If not, you can also call them and try to find out who the caseworker is on the case. I actually called the caseworker on the case, because I called the the CPS office, and I said, hey, I'm still the biological mother of Edward 17. I want to know what's going on. I felt like they did not want to tell me what was going on, so I filed a complaint. How a complaint works is you file the complaint, somebody notifies you, and I also want to let you know that when you have a complaint on a caseworker, you can go to the caseworker's boss, which would be most likely, for instance, you got a caseworker, then you got the supervisor, and then you got the supervisor above her, and then you got the supervisor above that person. I made it all the way to Regional 8 of Texas, and that's where they told me what happened to him. And they knew at that moment that they were in trouble about this bruise. And so there is a complaint against CPS on this issue because this is unacceptable behavior. So since my son has been away from me, he's had a bruise, and unfortunately he has his 2 front teeth missing. Okay, you can go ahead with the video, Michael.
Okay.
I thought that was important.
Did not go to visitations, no nothing. And me and Wendy, the day after we got the papers, we went up there to KidShare to get everything finalized and everything. And all they said is Erica would just have to call up there and just whenever she's ready to make a schedule appointment, that's all she had to do. So we put forth the effort to hurry up and get the visitation started right after the court case had happened, but there was a whole 18-month period where she didn't even contact KidShare.
Okay, and you're also
Can you
aware
pause
that
that,
she
Michael?
filed a paperwork, correct?
So in 2018, I made contact with KidShare. I made KidShare twice. I made contact with KidShare twice. One in 2017, trying to see if they'll let me see my son for free, because at that time I didn't have the funds because I just quit my job, and plus I also moved to Bexar County with my youngest. So I tried asking them, and they told me no, that they said you can come back and have your visits when you have the money. So basically, guys, I want y'all to know that I've been paying $25 an hour for these visits at KidShare. So let's do the math here. First, third, and fifth. 4 hours.
You gotta pay them yourself?
Yes, I have to pay. I have to pull my money out. I pay $25 an hour. 4 hours each week. Math, please do the math. I would like to explain this to them. So $25 an hour times 4. That's $100. So I'm paying $300 a month for supervised visits. Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. So 20.2, the 20.2 does not even happen, only due to the fact that I've reached out to therapists and they told me, oh, we don't make this, we don't do therapist recommendations. So now I should be able to have
Hold on real quick, Erica.
supervised by my stepmom.
Hold on real quick, Erica. There's somebody here in the comments, right? And I'm just trying to make everybody understand, right? I guess people aren't following why you have to pay to see your son. So guys, everybody, Erica had to pay for a supervised visit, right? Because those were the conditions as her being the possessory conservator. They wanted to close the case. They wouldn't allow Erica to be able to see her son on her own. They wanted these visits to be supervised, but I guess for some reason they're making Erica pay for all this if she wants to have her visits, right? Erica, did it actually say that you were ordered to pay for these supervised visits?
It does not say on these orders, but when you do go to KidShare, they do require you to pay $25.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't even know that. Okay, so then play the video.
And then can you keep pausing it for a second? Because I was reading. I was going to explain 20.2. So like I said, there is no therapist right now that will make that recommendation. But my visits could be supervised by my stepmom. And the reason why they have my stepmom is the one that actually did my safety plan on my youngest. Okay, keep that in mind. But they also, my stepmom is the only one that's able to do it, because if you were to go back up to the court order, you're going to see my dad and my biological mom and my biological dad. They cannot see their grandson. And keep in mind, when I had my son, I actually had my son for 18 months. He was more than a year old. They just don't want to say the months. But I'm letting the judge know it's 18 months because 18 months is longer than a year. And that's another reason why I wanted to point it out to the judge. And you'll see when it comes up because they'll be mentioned. But also the additional increased visitation. I don't even have my kids during the holiday. I don't even have my oldest during the holiday. When it comes to my parental rights, I'm the mother. I should be able to have them on my birthday, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas. I should be able to have them whenever I want them. I should be able to have them, but I don't because of this order. And they're trying to make it restricted to Bexar County. Ever since they've had my son, they keep moving my son without telling me. So little do they know that if this woman gets custody, I'm putting a restriction on her. That way she can't keep moving. That's what they do. They keep moving and moving because they don't want to have to give the child back. They will move if somebody knows their address, because they're scared. And then the last one, it says family wizard. If anybody, I don't know how many people are commenting, the family wizard is a little app. I'm gonna pull up on my phone. It's a really new tool, guys. It really is.
What app is this, Erica?
Our family wizard.
Our family wizard.
Yeah.
What does this do?
So I want people to see. Give it a minute. See this app, Michael, our family wizard. Guess what? I have to pay for this.
Hold on, hold on. I have to stop sharing the screen. Then people aren't going to be able to see it.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second. I have to stop my video, and hopefully everybody can see the screen now.
Hold on. There it is.
Okay.
I'll put my credentials in it. So you can share, you can put your video back on and go back to it, and I'll explain to you while people can hear me. So with our family wizard, I'm able to communicate with the other party. The judge and lawyers are the ones that can able to see that. Obviously.
But what is this? I know it's called Family Wizard, but what is this app? What does it do? Like,
it allows me to communicate, like, instead of them having my cell phone number and texting me, it allows me to respond and text to them.
Oh,
and the judge
okay,
can see that.
Oh, okay.
Like, say if they were to like take my son to the movies, they
Okay.
can say, okay, we spent $20 at the movies, and they could put $20 in it, and I can see. And I just wanted to mention, I have to pay for this as well.
I knew nothing of that. That's
the
something new.
thing too. So I have to pay for this.
So you got to pay the $40 if they go to the movies?
No, I have to pay for the app.
Oh, for the app. And how much is the app?
If I can remember correctly, I paid $195 plus $300. Okay, there's that. Back in 2017, I signed up for the app, but guess who failed to sign up for it?
The foster parents.
Yes.
So you're paying for a service that they're not even on.
So they didn't even want to use. Yeah. So I got them on that.
Erica, is it fair enough to say that it's because the foster parents would have to pay for that app as well?
Yes. Yeah. They would have to pay for it.
And this app is Family Wizard. Who built this app? Like, is it from the court themselves?
The app, I haven't really researched it. It's just
like, who's making the money off this? Like,
that's what I want to know.
Were you ordered by the court to buy this program?
Yeah, it's one of the
Oh, it's right here. It's right here, right? Possession,
Yep.
taxes, child. It's right there. What am I
And
saying?
so with the foster parents failing to do that back in 2007,
So okay, so
that's a violation right there.
no, well, so you're ordered to use this app and buy it and purchase it and all that, but on this order, it's not ordering the foster parents to buy this app, right?
But they still have to do it because they agreed to this court order.
Okay, what was yeah? So I was about to say that's
They
freaking
agreed
crazy.
to this, and if they didn't, if it's an agreement, guys, a voluntary agreement, you will hear that coming from somebody's mouth in this video. Continue, Michael.
Okay.
End of March. Well, she hasn't had one in March yet, neither.
Okay, and the way KidShare works, she would need to set that up. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, ma'am. She'll set it up. We'll set it. We'll call in, or they'll call us and schedule a visit, and then they will call Erica and they will confirm with Erica, and then so that's how that will go. They will confirm with Erica. They'll confirm it, and then once it's confirmed.
But they weren't supposed to be calling. They were supposed to be using this app, right?
They can call actually both when it comes to KidShare. Both parties can call KidShare. What it is, ever since I've had my visits, he will say that I won't have the 4-hour visits, but by the time I call, they already have it set up to where I only get 1 hour. I've asked for 2 hours. Get this, there was one time I asked for 2 hours. I showed up on time. As a mom, as a human being in general, this is how I roll. I don't like being late to doctor's appointments for me or my kids. I don't like to be late to any activities that involve my kids or myself. And I surely don't like to be late for a visitation. So one day I paid for a 2-hour visit at KidShare. The woman that wants my son, she calls them and be like, look, I'm running late. Can she only have her hour? KidShare told her, no, she paid for it. She gonna get her 2 hours. So I had to wait a longer time. And at that time, if I can remember correctly, that day that incident happened, Alex was with his dad. So I even had to communicate with his dad, be like, look, I'm still at KidShare. I'm running behind schedule because of them. And so they've tried to interfere with my visitation time by being late or canceling. So for instance, when I go back to court, I go to court, guys, again in February in Hays County, not Wilson County, Hays County, because the judge in Wilson, you'll see, they're asking that the case be transferred to Hays County. In the Texas Family Code, it does state that where the case where the child resides at the time is where the case is going to be held. So I will say that the judge in Wilson County did follow that case law. Do they follow every case law? No, but that's where I can hold them accountable. Go ahead, Michael.
Confirmed in, that's when the visitation is set.
Okay, and when they called you to bring Junior, have you at any time refused to bring him to these visits?
No, we ain't never refused. We canceled. We would have to cancel, and we would call KidShare way ahead of time. We would cancel, and we had documentations and doctor notes of the reason why the visitation was canceled.
Okay, and due to COVID right now, KidShare is doing remote visits. Is that
yes, ma'am? They're doing Zoom visits. Yes, ma'am.
And it's your understanding
Can you
that
put
she
that on pause?
police reports because she can't see him in.
So when these court orders were made, my visits were supposed to be at KidShare, not over Zoom. So I'm hoping and praying that the judge will see, oh, KidShare. But then I could tell Your Honor, during the whole time of COVID happened, KidShare remained open. because I was still supposed to call and schedule my visits. They stayed open this whole entire time. The reason why they wanted me to do Zoom, thankfully I had the option to do Zoom. I took that opportunity because the reason why I took that opportunity is because the woman was not wanting to bring them in person for me to have my visits. And I did not like that. I didn't like what she was doing. So I took up on the opportunity to have those Zoom visits so that I could stay connected with this child, because had I not stayed connected, they probably would have tried to use that against me in court to continue to take my son from me. So I took that opportunity, but it doesn't say Zoom visitation through KidShare. It says at KidShare. So I just want viewers to know that. And I got documentations that I had Zoom. So this woman needs to understand that they should have been at KidShare, not over Zoom. It put a
Somebody's asking Erica a question to you. They're putting, do you call through KidShare?
Both parties do call the KidShare. This is how KidShare works. So
But
they'll
but,
call.
but that's how you call through them, through KidShare, right?
Yes. I can call through KidShare. But I also have the opportunity, like, for instance, back in 2017, the people that have my son, they didn't want to comply with using our family wizard. Now that this woman is suing me, they're finally using it. You know why they're finally using it? Because they don't want to have to give up on the child. They're hoping that the child will take their side. But I could tell them, look, Your Honor, I don't want to do our family wizard anymore because of the fact that they failed to sign up for this stuff back in 2017, and I paid $195. So how am I gonna, after this court case, how do I know that she's gonna comply with that? She's not. But anyways, I shouldn't even have to say it that way, because I could say, Your Honor, I want my son back. Judge, I'm asking for my son. But yes, the way that I do communicate with KidShare. They're supposed to communicate with KidShare. I actually, what it is when visits are signed up, we have to confirm that, oh yeah, we're going to be there or we're not going to be there. So that way that they know that, that the other party can come. And with this, there's another key to this. I got to give them like 48, okay, so if I cancel on the day of the visit, guess what? That $25 doesn't stay $25. You know what it does? It goes up to $65. So more money is brought into it. And so there was this one time I was having a visit. I was supposed to have a visit, and the woman that wants my son, she contacted me not even 48 hours. She contacted me 12 hours and she said that she's gonna be like running late, or she's gonna have to try to change the time of the visit. I think it was more changing of the time. And that day, Alexander was sick, the child that I have in my care. And so this woman complains if I bring Alex to go see my other son when he's sick. So I made, way ahead of time, I made prior arrangements for somebody to watch my youngest, so I can go over there and still see my oldest and still be able to see my oldest without having to cancel. But I contacted her respectfully way ahead of time. I contacted her and I told her, with you giving me short notice, she was rude about it. I tried to be nice about it, because I tried to explain to her, look, you can't be doing that. You can't be just trying to show up or try to change something less than 48 hours. That should have been done 48 hours, not 12 hours, especially if I have to try to make proper arrangements. And she was really rude and disrespectful on that towards me.
I want to read. I want to read somebody's comment right here because
Okay.
it's just pretty interesting what they put. So somebody put so pay for these inflated fees, but also keep a job and a house and your current family going. No big deal. And they're just sarcasm. Right?
Okay,
It's just pretty interesting.
yeah, and I'm not mad about. Yes, that might be sarcasm, and I'm okay with that because he's just being blunt. But ever since I'm having to pay these fees, I have not lost my house. I have housing right now at this time, so I haven't lost nothing. But yes, if for somebody to like for someone else to have to go through this, I understand. I get why his comment says that. Um,
Yeah, it's just ridiculous on what they're making you do. Hey, Erica, I wonder if you can throw the argument into getting your older son on how it would be detrimental for your younger son to not come back with his older brother. Have you ever thought about that? Right? That
yeah,
they would.
yeah, because I can have a good argument and tell the judge, look, um, I feel like it's detrimental that my two kids are not together, and it's causing a sibling bond between them two.
Yeah,
Bring sibling bond up because
they both want to be with each other. They're
they
brothers.
want if they okay. So for instance, my oldest, he loves his brother. Okay. I want viewers to know, since I've had these visits, I go and see my son, my oldest son, with his brother. And in these visits, my oldest son tells me he hates me. There was this one time he wrote it down on, we were playing hangman, and he wrote it down, and I had to stop and I had to tell my oldest son, look, I don't teach your brother that. So that's inappropriate for you to do that in a visit like that, especially with your brother around, because that's not something I teach my youngest. So I've had things like that happen to me in my visits, and it's all, they have record of it. I even have record of it. So it is noted that my son does go in there and tells me he hates me, and that and the thing, since they've had my son, they've he says he hates me, but he loves his brother. I tell my son every time I go see him, I love him, I miss him, I want him home. I tell him, wish you can come home. I'm asking the courts on February 1st for reunification therapy, because it may need some, he might need that, so that way he can understand, hey, look, your mom here loves you very much, she misses you very much. The same thing with your brother. I think it's going to be necessary, needed, because I don't know what they've told him. I'm hoping maybe one day somebody can come forward and say, if like I'm not 100, I can't say they're 100% parental aiding him for him to stay over there, but I do know, like this woman, she don't like me fighting. The last court hearing we had, she tried to violated my
Which
First
woman is
Amendment
this?
right.
Which woman are you talking about? What woman are you talking about?
The woman that's suing me. The
Right,
woman
right.
that's suing me for my oldest.
Okay.
She doesn't like me
Wendy.
speaking up. She doesn't like me being a voice against CPS.
Okay.
All I've done since my son has been away from me, I've been a voice.
Erica, is your older son? What's his name again? Zachary, or is that
No,
Zach?
his name is Edward.
Edward?
After his
Okay, I'm
dad.
sorry. Okay, so Edward currently he's living with your brother, or is he living with this lady Wendy? Right, 'cause-
My brother at this time, right now, at this time, my brother does not have him. He's with this woman.
Oh wow. Okay, but he's the managing conservator, and so once again, guys, right? In case there's more people just joining in. Okay, so Eric, I'm just go over it one more time. Okay, just real quick. So currently where we're at here in the video is Erica's brother, right? Jeremy, right, has managing conservatorship over her older son. Okay, and as y'all can see, she has her younger son in the background there, right? So I mean, there's not a problem with her having kids, right? And she's stable. She's looks like she's got a home. I mean, she looks like she's in the living room right now. Um,
It's my
so,
bedroom.
huh?
It's my bedroom.
Okay, this is your bedroom. Okay. Well, it's a nice bedroom. So
you.
she's got a home, obviously, right? She's got a nice home, right? She has a home, she's got a roof, she's got her son, she's there for him, right? And but her older son currently is with her brother Jeremy, and Jeremy is supposed to be with her brother, obviously, but he also has the power to place him wherever he wants, right? And so in this case, for whatever reason why he doesn't want to watch over the son no more, okay, he's given guardianship over to some other lady named Wendy, right? But that's not what her name says on the video, right? But they just call her Wendy, right? Everybody knows her by Wendy. Anyways, so this lady is suing Erica, right? In court, in not in CPS court, right? In another court, right? And she's asking for her guardianship to be converted into a managing conservatorship, right? That's what they're asking.
Keep in mind, viewers, I've been this court that he's referring to in another court. I've been in this court. That court he's referring to. It's basically it's a court that they have that's not CPS related. It's like a court you're going into when you're biological mom and dad.
It's like civil court.
It's still a civil court, yeah, but
it's family court, family law.
it's family court, but it has nothing to do with CPS no more.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna play the video.
Person?
I'm assuming so.
Okay. And then lastly, the attachment B here is in regards to her child support, which she's been ordered to pay $195 a month. Has she paid that to you since 2017?
I probably got maybe about 3 payments from her. I probably got about 3 payments, and then them 3 payments weren't even. I haven't even had a full month of her paying $195 in a month. Now, due to the fact they're garnishing her income taxes, I was receiving her. I did receive her income tax, and I also received some of her first stimulus check.
Okay.
But
I'm going to show you another.
he just totally switched it up. He said he didn't get nothing, but then he got all your stimulus check.
Yeah, can you put that on pause, Michael?
Yeah, it's on pause.
Okay, so for him to get my stimulus check and to get my tax returns, they have to put you on child support. How are they putting people on child support? Oh, they're using our social security number.
But how much was your stimulus check? Did he get them all?
He didn't give. Okay, so this past year I got a stimulus check for Alex, and I made sure that none of it didn't go to them because I don't need them trying to take all my money that I get for me and my kid.
Yeah, I got you. You still have a son there with you who needs to be supported. So some of that stimulus check is for him too. I understand that.
Yeah, so I did get some child tax credits for him.
Okay.
But when he's talking about my tax return, a tax return is given to everybody in this world, obviously. And the only way he can receive my tax return is being behind on child support. But it is actually technically a violation of my rights for me to be on child support. And the only reason why the state of Texas was able to put me on child support is because when I had my son and his dad had his son, there was no case that had jurisdiction at the time. So the crazy thing that you say that is I even have papers, Michael, at the very beginning of the case. You know what the courts did? They said, oh, you don't have to pay child support. I have that too, by the way. And so CPS is the one that
wow.
put me on the child support at the very end of the case, because all this time from until June of 2017, that's when my child support I had to start paying. But prior to this case, I didn't have to pay. I was
Everybody,
paying stuff. I bought stuff for him.
everybody, if y'all want to see this actual video with Erica in court, I encourage y'all to check it up. Check it out. It's right there on top. It's called frio.atis. Whatever that's end sign, right? Karn, right there on the top. Right? All you have to do is search that. But I'm also going to put this video in a link in the description after we're done with this video. I'll go back and I'll edit the description and I'll add it in there. And I encourage y'all to share this video, to watch it, because this might have a similar effect or outcome, right, to someone who's actually in this position. You know what I'm saying? Someone might be actually going through the same thing that Erica's going through, right? And just by seeing this video, they might know how to respond to it better, because I'm actually going to be giving a little bit of good tips and some great advice on how to respond to some of the things, right? But go ahead, Erica. I don't know if you were finished talking.
No, we can go ahead and proceed. I think I'm good for what I was saying
Okay.
about the child support. Go on.
This is marked petitioner's exhibit 2. Can you tell me what this is?
That's temporary guardianship.
Okay. And is this your signature at the bottom?
Oh, hold on. Rewind the video back a little bit, Michael. It's going to show you mental health on that one.
Okay. They scroll through it very fast, so I'll probably have to try to catch it.
Now,
Pause.
Okay.
now, due to the fact they're garnishing her income taxes, I was receiving her. I did receive her income tax, and I also received.
So we go fast forward. Okay.
That's temporary guardianship.
This is
I have
marked
that
petitioner's
document too.
exhibit 2. Can you tell me?
How to send it to you, Michael? Right
Okay,
there. Right there. Pause it right there. Okay. Cause for temporary guardianship. The need for temporary guardianship arose due to the legal guardian suffering from a mental illness. Who's that? Me or my brother?
Guys, if y'all would like to write Jeremy a letter of telling him about just kidding. Don't do that.
Do not do that, because he'll try to say it. I encourage y'all to do that. Please don't.
I'm just kidding, guys.
I
I mean, they showed it on their own YouTube channel, so what the heck? Anyways.
But I want to know, Michael, what is your opinion? The need for temporary guardianship arose due to the legal guardian suffering from a mental illness. Are they saying it's me or?
No, well, they're not even saying it. They're not. I would have definitely filed something like I don't know, what is it called, for them to give a more definite answer, right? Some more
Is legal
clarification.
guardian like the mom? Me?
No, a legal guardian can be anybody who the conservator wishes to choose. Whoever the conservator is, and in this case would be your brother, the managing conservator. He has the power to give guardianship over to anybody through his consent. So guardianship is just somebody that he chooses with whatever powers he gives them to be able to do whatever it is he says that they can have.
Because I even tried to ask him in this court hearing if he was suffering from.
Yeah, guardianship is usually for a child, right?
Okay.
Most people call it like power of attorney, right? You can do that too, but that's more for adults. But guardianship can be for an adult too, right? It just all depends on the situation, right? If someone's like in the right, not mental state of mind, that you could have guardianship over them too.
And I also have a question. I want to ask a question, and maybe somebody can post it in the comments. They can answer my question. So my question is this: if this woman was to get custody done illegally still, as a mom who still has rights and has not signed for my baby to be anywhere, what options do I have as a mom What
Can you
options do I have as a mom? For me, like if I wanted to sign someone else, do I have that right or that opportunity to sign this with someone else besides her? That's my question.
are you talking about conservatorship, or are you talking about guardianship, or what is it exactly
Like
that you're
just
talking?
sign in general and to make it like done in like, do I have the option to sign somebody else?
As
My signature.
guardianship?
Yeah.
No, not you, because you are not the managing conservatorship. Okay, you can oppose being the possessory conservator. You can definitely oppose to the new guardianship that your brother's bringing in, right? You can object to that at any point in time, right? I mean, I think we're going to come up to that part in a bit, right? Um, but yes, as you being the possessory conservatorship, you're not in control of your son, of where he lives. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works. It's the managing conservatorship, right? Even if they're given a temporary managing conservatorship, and it's usually what they do, right? When the state comes in and takes someone's child, they automatically ask for temporary managing conservatorship over the child, and that gives them the power to place the child wherever they want, take them to the doctor, put them in school, things like that, because their powers come from that conservatorship, which is managing. That's the type of that it is, right? Possessory conservatorship. Let me give you an example of a possessory conservatorship. Okay, you're almost in the same situation as somebody that would be on child support. Okay, usually the scenario is right. The scenario is mom usually puts dad on child support, right? But I mean, I've seen other situations where it's vice versa, right? Regardless, right? Let's just talk about the first scenario. Okay, so in this case, when a mom has managing conservatorship over the child, and that's been established already in court, okay, not just having the kid and saying, "Well, I have the kid, I'm gonna put you on child support." No, I'm talking about the mom actually went in front of the judge and they gave her managing conservatorship, because that's the way it really works. Okay. So once that's established and she's the managing conservatorship, okay, dad's going to come in and say, well, hey, either he wants a DNA or yes, this is my kid. Yeah, I don't have the kid right now. And then whatever, he has to be put on child support. That's what they're going to do. Right. So he will basically be put as a possessory conservatorship. And this actually happens in the previous court that I was talking about, like when the mom went in front of the judge and got managing. Okay. Obviously, if the dad wasn't around, it wasn't going to be established for him either, right? But if he showed up in that court, then most likely the judge would give him possessory conservatorship because he has that right. But to put somebody on child support, okay,
Okay.
there has to be an established conservatorship in place in order for that to.
I just didn't know if I with my signature, because obviously this is done illegally. They're gonna try to do it illegally as well in this new courtroom, because I still ain't signing.
Yeah, well, I would definitely argue the fact. Well, let's finish this video because I want to talk about that successor conservator.
Okay.
New press play.
What this is?
That's temporary guardianship.
Okay. And is this your signature at the bottom? Is that
So real quick, guys, everybody, right? Because you keep pausing the video, right? But I don't want people to keep following along where we're at, right? So, guys, this document that Jeremy signed, okay, is authorizing guardianship to that woman named Wendy. Okay.
And he had to do that through
Right,
CPS.
Eric?
Yes, so that's my signature.
Okay. And what does this affidavit mean to you? What are you actually doing?
That means I pretty much have all of the rights for him to go to the doctors, for him to for him to get enrolled into school and stuff like that, and to take care of him.
Okay. And is this a guardianship affidavit that you are actually allowing Wendy, Miss Hastings, to take care of Junior?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're allowing her to make all the health and emergency medical care decision, educational decisions, travel, and other decisions that would be in his best interest. Is that what you're?
Yes, ma'am.
And you completed this with the assistance of the Department of Family in protective service. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you still, and at this time, you want to convert that quote unquote guardianship into a conservatorship so she can have those protections.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay, so Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to admit petitions Exhibit 1 and 2 that was just presented.
Okay, guys. So
Can you
right
pause
now,
this?
so right now, right, what she just did is this is the first time that the court was ever introduced with this evidence. Okay. Now, as you can see, that woman Wendy is the plaintiff. So PX2 is plaintiff's exhibit number 2, just so people understand that. Go ahead,
Okay,
Erica.
and can I explain to this? This document, Exhibit 2, plaintiff Exhibit 2, I just think it's weird because I know they're trying to cover up what they did on the termination, but now they're trying to label, this is how sickening the CPS is, okay? They're trying to label my brother as the father to Edward Sr. That is the most sickenest thing. That is my brother. It's like, I would never I don't like my brother. I can't really stand my brother half the time.
Yeah, I see what
And
you're
it's
saying.
sickening, but this is what CPS does. They change their stuff to make it look like
Guys,
they change their wordings.
yeah, what Erica's talking about is that the brother named Jeremy Thomas. Okay, right here on this letter, watch. It says, "To whom it may concern, I am currently working with the father, Jeremy Thomas." That is not that. Okay, that is not the father. Okay, the brother. That's what it should say. It should say, "I'm currently working with the brother, Jeremy Thomas, to Erica Thomas." That's what it really should say. But instead, it says, "I'm currently working." So that's why Erica is kind of not.
Yeah, that's another reason why, because they're trying to cover up what they did.
Okay.
Of the termination on his real father.
Well, Exhibit 1 is already in the court's file. I'll take judicial notice of that. That's above there. And Ms. Thomas, do you have any legal objection to the admission of the guardianship affidavit?
So I'm press pause right there real quick. So guys, the judge just asked Erica, okay, if she has any objection for the admission, right? The admission of this exhibit. Okay, and this is the first time that it's being introduced, right? As far as it is to Erica's knowledge, Erica, is this the first time that you have ever been at this point right here? While you're at this court right here and at the bottom of the screen, is this the first time you're actually seeing this document? Was that the first time you just saw it?
The one,
The guardianship and what they just showed right now, all that stuff.
well, but they mailed it to me. So it's not really the first time that I saw it. It's
Okay.
just they
Was
mailed it to me.
Was it certified mail that they mailed it to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then what it is then is that it's been filed. Okay. But for whatever reason why, okay, and they got proof of service that they served it to you. Okay. But here comes the question too, that the judge is asking you, right? If you would allow if you didn't have an objection to the admission. Let's play it real quick.
Oh, I objected to it, but I didn't understand why.
Ms. Thomas, I don't know if you're trying to speak, you're muted.
But he knows I object to it, so.
I was talking to Erica Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Hello, sir.
All right, do you have any,
Your Honor.
yes, do you have any legal objection to the admission of the petitioner's exhibit number 2, which is the guardianship?
Yeah, I do, Your Honor. It's crazy. I knew about that investigation that was going on. The CASA worker on the
Okay,
case
ma'am.
that y'all saw on the order.
Ms. Thomas. Okay, the only thing I'm asking right now is, do you have an objection to the admissibility of this piece of paper? I'm not asking if you agree with it.
Yes, I do.
What is your objection to the admissibility
Yes, I do.
of the petitioner's exhibit 2?
Well, the reason why I'm objecting it to it is because I want to let you know currently I have a 4-year-old boy in my custody. He is the brother of
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Thomas, again, I'm fine, that's not a legal objection. So without a legal objection, I will admit.
Wouldn't it be illegal
We'll have
because
a
it's a
chance-
sibling?
Okay. So guys, I'm going to explain to everybody what just happened. Okay, because I don't want people. See, we're gonna learn from this video. Okay, and now I've already explained this to Erica over Messenger, over Facebook, right? Which she should have said. Okay, so when the judge asked you if you are going to object to something, right? Right, you have to give a legal reason, right? What should have been Erica's response, right?
I'm the mom.
Yeah, what I would have said, this is what I had told Erica, was I would have told her, yes, I object to it, sir. And then the judge would have asked me, why do you object? What Erica should have said was, well, first of all, I don't even know who this woman is. Okay, I have no knowledge of who she is. And she doesn't have a background check. There's no confirmed background check. There's no home study that has been done. I don't know if she's a sex offender. I don't know who's around my child. I don't know the address and things like that, right? So yes, I do object to it, right? And that would have been a good reason, right? Another reason why she could have objected, right? Well, not her, right? Because obviously she did see these papers. But if there would have been an instance, right, where somebody's out there and they had never saw these documents before, right? They never got it in the mail and they never had it there sent to them or explained to them, and then they're just popping it out right here on Zoom, and this is the first time yeah, you can say that
I could say I wasn't properly served.
you can say well, that too, right? But I would just focus on the fact that I object, Your Honor, because I've never seen this. I've never seen these papers before. What is it that we're looking at? Has this been filed without my knowledge? I haven't had any time to even review any of this, right? Because are y'all just bringing it out right now? Yes, I do object because I'm gonna need some time to actually review these documents, right, before I even give any approval, right? That's what I would have said, right, too, right? But anyways, let me continue, right? So that's kind of reason why Erica kind of got shut down right now. But I explained that to her, right? But she now understands that, and hopefully they don't try to do this to her again. But let's continue with the video.
They might in the new court, because it's a new courthouse that I'm going to. They might ask me that question. But I don't know.
Watch. I also want to point out something too, right? So let me go to Google and then bring this up. It's called successor conservatorship in Texas, right? I'm gonna bring that up, right? So watch this. Okay, can y'all see the screen, Erica?
Yes.
Okay, so here's another reason why she should have objected too, right? So when for any reason a vacancy occurs in the office of conservatorship, right? Because there's two offices here. Erica's the possessory and the brother Jeremy is the managing conservator. So for any reason a vacancy occurs in the office of conservator, the court may appoint a successor conservator in the manner provided in this article 2681. A petition for appointment of successor conservator may be filed by any of the reason, right? The conservatee, the spouse or domestic partner of the conservatee, right? And that's going to be right here, right? This is for Texas, right? So Erica, you're probably going to have to file a petition for appointment of successor conservator. Okay. So I don't know if you want to write that down, but that's
actually my lawyer, he filed a counter petition.
Counter petition. Tell your lawyer, tell your lawyer, right, that you want to also file a petition for appointment of successor conservator. That's
okay,
you.
Hold on, let me write this down. Hold on.
Right. And the reason why she wants to do this is because she's the next in line. She's the successor, right? Once the managing conservator steps down, well, you would think that the next person in line to hold the managing conservatorship would be the possessory conservator, because if the managing one can't do it, well, then the next one is in line. So she is the successor, right? And there's also another thing called something called like a successor of interest, right? But that would be when someone actually passes away, right?
So my question is this: if my lawyer does not file a petition for appointment of a successor,
First, I would tell your lawyer, don't just assume they're gonna do it, because they're not gonna do a damn thing unless you tell them to do it. You seriously need to tell your attorney, look, I need for you to file a petition for appointment of successor conservator, and here's why. Look here, look at show them the website. I'd be like, look, isn't this a statutory code in Article 2, appointment where we found it right here? Oh, I'm sorry, Erica. This one says for California, okay? So, but there is one for and there is one for Texas. I did find it, okay, but it's the same thing. It's a petition for appointment of successor conservator. Just let's see if we can find it right here.
yeah, so that way I can reference that.
No, but that's the name of the document: a petition for appointment of successor conservatorship.
Okay.
That's the petition that you want to file. Let me see if I can see. It's because I'm in California, so the first thing that pulls up is in California. Let's see. Try this one. This just
And again, guys, I just want people to know that who have been on here and that are commenting on this post. Currently, I am going to school for paralegal, so eventually I will know all this stuff in time. So it's all new to me. I'm still learning laws. I'm still researching laws, and it's crazy that this woman is doing this to me, because I want to bring it up to y'all's attention that since she is sued, she opened doors for me. And the reason why she opened doors for me is because since she decided to sue me in the county that took my son, I'm able to look up all the videos in that district court, and I've actually saw other CPS cases in that county, but I don't know exactly where or in those surrounding counties. But I've been watching a video the other day, and they're trying to terminate rights on the mom based on she's been in compliance. They have a roof over their head. They have a mortgage. She is married. Her husband did domestic violence classes with her when he was not even obligated to do them. He did them for him and his wife. I don't know why he was obligated to do them. My question is this case on him, or is it just on the mom? That's where I would ask. And so yeah, this woman has allowed me to watch cases regarding this. And another reason why I'm watching these, like I even exposed that video on my Facebook. Oh, this is her fault. She opened doors. It's her fault for her suing me. So if she tries to like say, oh, she's watching everybody else's CPS cases going on, I could tell the judge, Your Honor, by her doing this to me, she opened those doors. So it's kind of her fault. In a way, she opened those doors. But I'm glad it gave me more opportunity because I'm able to expose those videos, and there's nothing they can do about it because of COVID.
Erica, it would only be a logical reason, right? A belief, right? That you would think that because the managing conservatorship cannot watch over the child, you would think that the best thing for him to do, the right thing for him to do, is to reach out to the possessory conservator, right? And say, here, I think that we should move Edward back to you because I can't.
Yeah, well, my brother, when he did call me about that, he was really rude on the phone. He's like, if I don't have to give him back to you, I don't want to. That's was his attitude. And I'm like, fine, y'all are gonna deal with me in court, and y'all are gonna see me y'all are gonna see me with the lawyer. So
But
now
watch,
he's
look.
the only one without a lawyer. So that's why
Well,
I'm saying when I go to court on February 1st, this is gonna be so interesting because my lawyer, if he shows up to court, my lawyer can ask him a whole bunch of questions and he's gonna have to answer 'em because he doesn't have a lawyer on his behalf because he is he's considered being pro se.
so here's the thing that I wanted to show you. So obviously, this woman is actually trying to be a well, I don't know. According to your brother, she already has an established guardianship, right? But according to the Texas Estates Code 1203153, there's an application to appoint a successor guardian. So if there's a primary guardian established, you would think that it would be you first, right? I don't know. That's what I'm saying, right? But here I thought it was interesting that I found that there's an application to appoint a successor guardian, right? And that would literally, I guess that would be you, right? I don't know. I'm just trying to find something that would apply for you, but I know for sure. I would argue the fact that you are the successor conservator. That's what I would argue. It's crazy how I found it exactly over here in California.
But I'm also,
But
I should
you know-
argue that I'm possessory, so I should have my son back because I've had him. See, I've been in his life. Let's just continue the video. It gets more interesting, guys.
Okay, make this bigger.
Oh, look, besides you watching it, 661, it's changing. People are watching. Thank you. I'm hoping by February 21st, which is my birthday, I would like to have like over 1,000 views.
Well, I'm definitely gonna share this video on my Facebook and on my YouTube channel, so we'll get it up there.
Go ahead, Ms. Aldrich.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jeremy Thomas,
Yes, ma'am.
tell me a little bit about your relationship with Wendy. How long have y'all been together?
Me and Wendy, we was together for 7 years. Me and Wendy, we got into Jackson's life. Jackson wasn't even one yet. There was times where Erica and Senior, they were living in a trailer, probably no bigger than, no bigger than, I can't even explain it to you. I mean, it was very unlivable conditions.
Can you pause that
And so
the video? By the way, I want viewers to know that my son's name is Edward and not Jackson. And they changed his first name to Jackson. But when I go see, like, this is where it's going to confuse them because they're trying to name him Jackson. And when I come and see him, I name him Edward because that's his real name. And I don't know why but then again, now that we're back in court for this, I'm going to ask the courts for his last name to be changed to Thomas, since I've had to be the one to pay child support and have visitation all this time, and also the fact that I'm the biological mother. So I'm going to be asking the courts for the last name to be changed. Am I currently at this time? I'm not paying a dime because I want my son back, and I don't feel like this woman should have custody over my child when I have one child with me.
So we actually we've been, me and Wendy together. We've been in Jackson's Edward's life his whole entire life.
Would you consider yourselves common law married at that time?
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
too?
We were living under the same.
I do want to let y'all know that the day that my son was born was August 6, 2014. The day that my son was born, this woman walked into the birth with Jeremy. I had no clue who she was. They were only together for like 2 months. And here she comes in. I don't know if it has happened to anybody else, but I had no clue who she was. So I only know of her woman from the time, like, me and this woman don't get along, obviously. The fact is that the facts remain is she has admitted to me in the past before CPS got involved that she cannot have children.
Somebody in the comments is asking if Jeremy and Wendy, and they put, I didn't see that one coming. And then they put, do they hate each other now? I guess they're wondering why Jeremy and Wendy are separated.
That's the thing. As the mother to my son, I don't think they hate each other. I don't know if they hate each other. I just know that they're separated, and as far as why they are separated, I have no clue. And also, I had no knowledge of their separation, because I was left out of that information. Because now she's trying to claim that she's been the one that has had him all this time when she wasn't the one that was signed.
I'm wondering why it doesn't say Wendy up there. It just says Lakendra Hastings.
Okay, her real name is Lakendra Hastings.
Lakendra Hastings.
She
So is it Lakendra? Okay, is it Lakendra Wendy Hastings? Where's Wendy coming from?
That's one of the nicks. Okay, so this woman has so many names. A Wendy's a nickname, okay? You know how people have nicknames for their names? That's what she only goes by. Her real name is
Well, my name's Michael, and people call me Mike. You know, I mean, you know,
my name is Erica, and they call me Erica. They don't call me by any other. I don't have no nickname, to be honest. She goes by so many names, Lakendra Hastings, and then she goes by Wendy Hastings. She goes by Lakendra Hastings Bamar.
Erica, who is this lady over here? La Liche Cavazos. Who is that? Do you recognize her?
In the court, something
from the
to the judge.
Well, she looks like she's somewhere else. Well, that's a dresser in the background. She's kind of like me, right in the room. Right? Like, I guess they have the court clerk working, right?
Yep. That no, that might not be the.
Maybe she's the reporter. I'm not sure.
She might be the recorder. She might be the one that's recording everything.
Yeah. I love the comments that are coming in. I want to appreciate everybody for the comments. Whoever's making comments.
Yes, I will. I don't know if I think they might have saw my comment. I did comment at one time saying this was my video, and I'm like, please comment, please like, please share.
Yes, everybody, please, if you're watching this video, please share this video on your YouTube channel. Please share this on Facebook. Please tag your friends. People need to hear this story, because they might relate to you. It might help you out, or we might learn something new.
Obviously, my friends don't. I have a lot of friends on my Facebook. Some of them care to know what's going on, and they see how hard I'm fighting for my son back. But then some of them don't want to be involved with it, not because they don't like me or anything. They just don't like me posting stuff about Facebook because I have friends who, like the other day, I posted on Facebook the other day how she confessed that she hates CPS and she didn't like that post.
Who's this, Erica? Is this Wendy? You're talking about?
No, it was somebody else on my Facebook. Lakendra
okay.
Hastings is blocked from my Facebook. Jeremy is blocked from my Facebook. Franklin Thomas is blocked on my Facebook. So somebody, obviously, I believe that I believe.
Does Franklin get an opportunity to speak?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And why is he in this hearing? He's not a party to the case.
He's not a party to the case. He's a witness.
Okay.
But he's not really a witness because he's lying too. So
I just don't like the way that judge looks right there. He looks Russell. Okay, we'll see.
It may not be towards me.
He looks pretty pissed off right now, right, Mr. Wilson?
It may not be towards me. It may be towards him.
But notice how he's got this white thing right here, like he's a priest. I just want to point that out, right?
Yeah. And keep in mind this judge. I want people. If I'm going to say this because I don't know if this judge might watch it. I don't know if he'll watch this video or not. But to Judge Wilson, I have nothing against you. I thank you for not allowing a stay away order to be placed on me because I have not done anything wrong. And I thank you for just ignoring these people in general. And
Okay.
that's all I gotta say. But I want to respectfully thank this Judge Wilson because he was he was a good decent judge.
There you go.
I have to say myself. And I think maybe things might slowly start turning around for the better. I'm asking God for that. So yeah, let's continue to this because it keeps getting interesting. Come on.
Okay. So real quick for everybody, I just wanted to let everybody know who these people are, right? Just because I know there's people tuning in, right? Barely. So the guy on the left, right, in the top left corner is the judge. The one in the middle on the top is Erica's older brother. The one on the right is going to be the lady that's suing Erica in this court, right? She's the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, to Jeremy's I'm to Jeremy, right, which is Erica's brother. The lady on the left in the middle, okay, that's going to be possibly somebody from the court working, possibly the recorder. She's the only one wearing headphones, right? So I'm probably thinking that's what that is, right? She's just listening in. She's got to hear everybody's words, so she's probably typing everything in.
My next question, Michael, is since she's suing me, obviously this lady, she doesn't realize that I have other siblings, and she's nobody to me. So if another sibling wanted to jump in, can they sue her?
Well, anybody can sue anyone. Is you just got to put it in court, right? Everybody has the right to sue someone. Now, is it going to stand in court? Well, it just depends on how you present it, right? So most definitely anybody can intervene in any suit. Also, you just have to prove that you have standing in that suit. Right, but let me finish up real quick. So the gentleman in the middle, where it's green around, that's Jeremy Thomas. That is not the father, okay, to
That is the
Edward.
brother.
Okay, but that's what they're saying.
Lied.
He
That
is
just
not
shows that document that pulled up. That just shows CPS lied.
the lady talking right now, Erica. Okay, that is her brother, the one in green, Jeremy Thomas. They're brothers. Okay, he just ended up having a managing conservatorship awarded to him in the past. Okay, so the woman on the right in the middle, that's going to be the attorney that's hired by Miss Hastings up on the top right above her, and she's the one suing Erica in this case. And then of course that's Erica. That's lovely Erica down in the bottom. Okay, so let me press play.
Ruth, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you considered her to be your wife and she considered you to be her husband at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were together 7 years. And when did you get, how old was Jackson? How old was, I'm sorry, I think his nickname is something else. How old was Junior when you actually,
Edward.
when he was actually placed with you and Wendy?
You mean to after foster care or just throughout through whole entire foster care and everything?
When during the pendency of the CPS case, how old
Oh,
was
he was with us. Edward was with us probably since he was wasn't even one yet. He wasn't even fully poly trained yet.
Okay.
Hey, can you pause that?
And I'm sorry, I keep getting a clicking noise. I've muted everyone except the attorney and Jeremy Thomas.
So he was at first,
doing
like he said, he was in foster care first. They moved him because CPS asked, it was either CPS asked me or they were going to ask his dad. But since his dad was going to jail anyways and having to deal with stuff, they asked me, and basically they kind of convinced his dad to allowing me to pick. And I wanted to hit him out of the system. I really didn't want my brother Jeremy to have him. I wanted the brother of Franklin at the top to have him, because behind the scenes of Franklin Thomas, you might see eventually the person that gets up from the chair. That's his wife. He is legally married. He's not playing common law marriage. He is legally married in the state of Texas. This woman,
your brother to Miss Hastings.
No, the Franklin Thomas.
Yeah.
If you look at his screen,
Yeah.
And sometime you're gonna see a woman that gets up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
The woman in her screen in the screen is his wife.
So
That's
somebody,
not her. It's
somebody put, you got two brothers testifying. Damn. That's what I would think. I would say too.
yeah.
'Cause that's
So
crazy.
my brother Franklin Thomas, you'll see his wife get up from the screen. So she's the one behind it. And you'll also notice in the screen, he'll look
Hey, Erica,
her way.
and I want
Her way. Okay. So that's how you know that there's somebody behind the screen. So there is another person. But yes, in the state of Texas, my brother Franklin Thomas is married to a woman. They have one baby, and I don't know if I'm pretty sure the other baby's already born. But keep in mind, he's the brother that was adopted. He wasn't the one in the foster care system. It was
here's something that's interesting, right? And somebody just caught this right on the comments, right? That they put, let me see, her own advocate, right, Miss Hastings, right? Her own advocate doesn't even know your son's name because she didn't. Did you hear that earlier? She couldn't even say it. Let me rewind it so everybody can see that. Let me go back a little bit.
You actually, when he was actually placed with you and Wendy.
You mean to after foster care or just throughout the whole entire foster care? Was living under the same roof.
Where was it at? Oops.
Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Wendy. How long have y'all been together?
Me and Wendy, we was together for 7 years. Me and Wendy, we got into Jackson's life. Jackson wasn't even one yet. There was times where Erica and Senior, they were living in a trailer, probably no bigger than, I can't even explain it to you. I mean, it was very unlivable.
You can see how Jeremy Thomas is calling your son Jackson, right? Even though, okay, so
that's not his name.
Okay, so that's why the advocate over here is kind of confused too, right? This is my very first time going on live with Erica, so I'm sorry if I said his name Zachary, right? But it's Edward.
It's okay. It's okay. His name's Edward.
But what they're trying to point out over here, right, in the comment section, is that this woman right here, Miss Aldrich, right, is representing Miss Hastings and doesn't even know the son's name, right? So let me press play.
Wow, I didn't catch that, but
and so we actually been me and Wendy together. We've been in Jackson's Edward's life his whole entire life.
Would you consider yourselves common law married at?
Well, hold on real quick. What is your son's full name? Edward? It's Edward?
Edward Biley Stantine Jr.
Where he has the same Jackson name from? Where are they getting Jackson from?
That's a name that they want to come up with. They're trying to. I don't know if they're going to try to change it or not.
Wow, that's just.
If she
maybe they like Michael Jackson, or I don't know, like something. You know what I mean? But let's continue playing the video.
I like Michael Jackson. There's no problem with it.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We was living under the same roof.
Like
yes,
Michael
ma'am.
Too.
Okay, and you considered her to be your wife, and she considered you to be her husband at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you pause it for a second?
And you were together 7 years.
Okay, I just want to let people know at the time that I had gave birth to Edward Biley Stantine Jr., I had no clue that they were together. If you go look on Jeremy Thomas's Facebook, please do not message him. Please do not do anything. But if you go look on his Facebook, it tells you they got together in June of 2014, only 2 months. So I don't think that gave me enough time to know who this woman is, because that's just strange too. Like I said, I had no clue who she was. So right there, I'm gonna try to use against them in court, because then I could say, look, I didn't know who she was prior to for her ever coming in my life, if that makes sense. I don't know if I can. What do you think, Michael?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again one more time?
Do you think I can use that date, June of 2014? I can bring it up to the judge and be like, look, I didn't know.
What happened? What happened on June?
June 2014 is the time that they got together.
Okay. And what is it that you're trying to direct?
I want to see if I can use it against them because I had no knowledge of it was going on. And she just appears at my son's birth unannounced.
I mean, you can definitely bring it up. I'm just not sure how you're going to be able to apply that as anything. But I mean, you can say anything you want in court, right? But mostly what you want to do is before you say anything in court is you want to write your own testimony in writing and submit it, right? Because the court's not going to want to hear you out on any issue if you don't submit whatever it is you're trying to speak first in writing, and then you must show proof of service that you served everybody. So those are the proper channels that you need to go through, right? Hold on one
So I
second.
need to write his testimony.
Yes. So the proper channels is going to be that you first have to, if you want to speak on any issue, right, on anything like that, on any subject matter, whatever it is you're trying to bring up, okay, what you're supposed to do is file what you want to say in writing, right, first, and then you have to serve everybody a copy of whatever filed document it was that you filed, right, and then after that, you can show proof of service. You can submit your proof of service, right, inside the court. Hold on one second. I think somebody's calling me. Hold on one second, okay?
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
All right. I'm probably gonna have to cut it up short in a bit. I got some things I have to do. Sorry about that, but we can definitely continue this again tomorrow, Erica. I think we've been going since 5 o'clock, right?
What time is
Um,
it?
how about we do a part two, right? Because I know you got a story, and I want to give you a voice, and I don't want to cut the story just like this. Because
Can we just do we have time to finish just a video? Today I'd rather people watch it and I'll just try to like stay quiet.
Okay. Well, I actually have to go right now. That's why I'm
Okay.
saying. Yeah, but let's. I'm gonna share this on my video. But I have to cut it short tonight.
Okay.
I have some things I need to take care of. But definitely everybody. I want everybody. I'm gonna please watch this video. I'm gonna put the link in the description.
It might not be tomorrow that I'm gonna be able to watch meet with you because I got
Okay.
some homework assignments that I have to turn in by tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Okay.
So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do on this assignment and gotta
Okay.
submit it on time.
Well,
So it's
right here,
probably not
right here,
gonna be
we
good
right,
tomorrow.
right. Okay. Well, right here, we got the time right here. We're at 3 hours and 48 minutes and 37 seconds. So we can continue from there. Right. But and I'm gonna call this video part one, right? So definitely we'll have a part two with you. So I'm sorry I had to cut it off short, but there's some issues I need to take up right now. Somebody was knocking on my door. But yes, I want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in.
And it's only gonna get interesting from here on out
Yeah, and
on this
please,
video.
yeah, please
Unfortunately, I wish my February court date was on Zoom because then there would be more updates as court's going on. But unfortunately, Hayes County is not doing Zoom. I wish I could submit a document for anybody who's in Texas that is able to travel to my court hearing. I'm willing to allow, obviously it's public record, so I would think everybody is invited into this court proceeding. So if it is in Hayes County. Let me see if I can get the address. I'm gonna pull up the address real quick before you end this, Michael.
Okay.
That way I can tell everybody's address. The hearing that we are going on is, it's a motion to set. We're also going over some temporary orders. The woman that has my son, she's trying to get me for tampering medical and educational records, but as possessory, I have the right to have that information. So I don't see how I'm doing anything illegal. She just doesn't like it. She doesn't like it because of the fact that they've shut me out of the dark on his education. Like, I don't even know the name of the school where he goes. They don't want to tell me. The reason why they don't want to tell me is because like I said, I had my son for 18 months before he was taken from me. And I was the one that took him to the doctors. And in one of his medical records, it states that I was the primary caregiver. When CPS lied, I can prove that I was the primary caregiver from a medical doctor. CPS on their emergency removal, they're listing the dad as a primary caregiver. So I could prove that for sure. But the address of my court case is in Hayes County. It's with the 22nd Judah District Court. It's Hayes County Government Center, 3rd floor, 712 South Stagecoach Trail, San Marcos, Texas, 78666. Michael, can you please write this down and put that in the description if anybody else wants to attend?
Can you text it to me, and I'll definitely do that.
Yes, I sure can. It's 12 p.m.
Was that everything that you wanted to? I want to allow you to finish off what it is that you're saying.
That is it. I just wanted to announce the address on this video in case, but I also want to put it in the description.
Okay.
But I will send it to you.
Okay. All right, guys. So I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I know I'm cutting it short, but there's some things I need to take care of right now. But I'm definitely going to be making a part 2 with Erica because I want her to be able to voice her story. But thanks for tuning in, and be sure to,
as long as I don't have a gag order, I could still speak up. Which I'm gonna.
So everybody, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be sharing part 2 very shortly. All right, thanks for coming on the show here.
Michael, can you explain what a gag order is to me? Because I don't know. I've never heard that term.
A gag order is whenever you can't you can't speak on a certain issue on the court. You're not allowed to speak on anything on the court. That's all it means.
Do you think they're gonna give me one?
Erica, I would if you can message me on Facebook. I really have to go.
Okay.
But thank you very much for coming on to the show. I'll answer all your questions in just a bit. It's just I have to hang up already. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Okay.
All right.
Have a
bye.
good night.